Good morning, traders. Welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. I hope we are all geared up for the market moves later in the afternoon as CPI comes in. We've had a fruitful week where the market hasn't had so much volatility due to lack of high impact news, except the pound, where we had the unemployment rate yesterday, but what really moved that was the claimant count change that was way above what was expected, right? So that led to really bearish GBP USD. So let's look at today. Remember, every time when you wake up as a trader, you need to remember that we have three types of analysis. You have the fundamental analysis, sentimental, and technical. So fundamental is where you look at your economic calendar. You want to see high impact news that could affect your positions, right? You don't want to be in a trade that is in profit. Next time you're looking at your trade, you are minus. Why? Because some scheduled news came out. So remember, it's all about managing your risks. One of the ways of managing your risk is to make sure that you at least have some information about scheduled news. There's some news that will not be scheduled, like Trump tweets. You don't know what he'll tweet, right? But then again, this is where now, of course, we know as traders, you must use risk management to use the right position size for your account, use the right lots. Use the right stop loss, right? Don't trade without a stop loss, because anytime you trade without a stop loss, you are exposing yourself to risks in the market, right? It's like buying a new car worth 30 million, and because you believe you're the best driver, you decide not to take insurance. I mean, you can never get into an accident. No one can steal your car because you live in a good hood, all that, right? But then again, we all know what could happen, right? So it's always good to take care of your downside. Make sure that in case something happens, at least you have capital to trade tomorrow. Don't be that trader who blows an account and then you have to go looking for capital, right? So let's try and look at this data. The core CPI, remember, this is inflation minus volatile commodities like food and fuel, right? So remember, these are things that are affected by so many things: drought, maybe even the tariffs could affect some of these food and energy. Okay, so what are traders expecting? Traders are expecting the inflation to go up. Previously, it was 0.2. Forecast. This is what traders or investors are saying. It will be at 0.3%. So this data that comes out here, if it's higher than this, right? If it's higher than this, we should see the strengthening of the US dollar. Based on how maybe the technicals are panning out, it could seem like this data will come out higher, maybe 0.4, maybe 0.5, right? That is something in light of the tariffs where prices of goods and services have gone up, right? Because remember, if you are importing something at, let's say, $100, right? This time around, it's around maybe $150 or something, right? So I really expect the CPI, core CPI, to go up. But then again, this is the market. You don't know what could happen. So make sure that you trade once the news are out. CPI, traders are expecting it to be month on month to be 0.2%, and then there's the actual CPI year on year, 2.5%. Remember, the mandate of the federal US Federal Reserve is to have this below 2%, right? That's the mandate of every other central bank. So let's see how that shapes out. If it comes out higher, then of course you expect the strengthening of the dollar. Anything lower than this, maybe 0.2, 0.1, of course the dollar will weaken. Now, there's a conversation that Trump has been pushing. Trump wants the Fed to cut interest rates. Remember, when the interest rates are down, the loans become cheaper, and so businesses can expand. New businesses can come into the play, right? So that is what Trump is looking forward to, so that jobs it's one of the ways of of increasing jobs in an economy, yeah, because people will now have access to cheaper loans. But then again, the Fed is independent. They have to take caution of things like the tariffs, the impact of the tariffs, right? How far have they dented the US economy in terms of inflation, right? So you cannot keep cutting rates and yet inflation is going up, right? So that there's that balance that the Fed has to maintain, political noise notwithstanding. And so let's see how this data comes out, because this data will define how the Fed will act moving forward. It's part of the data they look at. Remember, they've been saying they're in a wait and see attitude, right? Because they rely more on data, not emotions. Okay. So with that understanding, let's now go to technical analysis on my MT5 to have a clear picture of the market. For our UG clients, kindly note that Financially Incorrect is coming to Cavendish University on June 25th. Yeah, Financially Incorrect is sponsored by FX Pesa. Okay, so look out for that. Okay, so this is the analysis we had earlier yesterday in our mentorship class. For those who are interested in joining the mentorship class, make sure that you go to the link below. You will see the morning, FX Pesa morning, right? Register and join those sessions. So we were looking for a buy on Euro USD. This was around 11. As we speak, there's that mentorship class is ongoing. So at around 11, which is around this candle, right? We were looking for buys on Euro USD, and we wanted it to hit this price level, which is yesterday's high, right? This is yesterday's high because we're expecting some sellers at this price level. And indeed, you can see the reaction of the candlesticks, right? There was a strong shooting star at that price level, right? But then for those who've gone through our classes, we needed to see price at the 70 region for us to take that trade. And eventually there was that drop earlier today. The market came again, tested that high, right? The same high, Monday's high, to form a morning, an evening star pattern, and then of course there was that bearish move. So let's remove this analysis and map out Euro USD afresh. So what would I want to see on Euro USD? I probably want to see Euro USD test these two areas, yesterday's high and also the Asian high. For those who've attended the beginners class, we know the Asian high refers to the high of the Asian session, which is the high that is formed from midnight to 9 a.m. So that's an area where we'll be looking for opportunities to enter sales on Euro USD. So I'm still looking for a buy, maybe to yesterday's high, and then from there probably we could see some bearish move to yesterday's low. That's an intraday play. Now, remember we have that CPI news coming out. These analysis could be easily invalidated. So what you do as a trader, make sure you don't trade just because price has come to these areas of resistance. No, you need to look at confirmations. What are your confirmations? One, for us in the mentorship class, we all know the RSI helps us in confirming our trades, and also you want to see candlestick patterns that represent sellers. If you're able to see such patterns, a bearish engulfing, an evening star, a shooting star, bearish tweezers at this high, then that will have confirmed that this area is indeed a sell area. Okay, so that is what we have on Euro USD. Let's see GBP USD. So GBP USD, we were looking for buys to this high. We had three areas: this one, this one, this one. So this was our initial buy area, sorry, sell area. So we were looking for buys Yeah, and I think this trade, how many pips? Gave 50 pips. Remember what I've been saying as a trader? It's important that you book your profits at least at 30 pips, right? If you're going for the 50 pips, you're going for the 70 pips, at least 30 pips, book something for yourself, right? So that it's a reward, like at least you did something, right? Rather than having a trade move, your target is 70 pips, the trade moves 50 pips, then all of a sudden it goes down to your entry or even goes to your stop loss. It's quite painful, right? So you really need to observe trade management. That's part of trade management. How do you manage your trades? Yeah? So let's remove this because GBP USD didn't get to this area. Let's map out this pair afresh. So let's go to higher time frames because I expect GBP USD to drop to this area. So I'm seeking sell areas, right? Areas where there are sellers. So one, let's go to H4 higher time frames. At times you'll just need to look at higher time frames. So this order block is an area where I would probably want to see buyers come to. I'll still maintain that analysis, 35.46. Knowing that CPI is coming out, we can easily see a spike. Price can easily, if the news will come out whichever way, right? You will need to see maybe a spike to this area. Let me see. There's also this one, 35.21. On the daily chart. So the moment you've mapped out some of those areas, now come to lower time frames and project. Maybe last week's low, which was last week's low, this one. That's a possible take profit target area. And then of course, there's also this area. Let's see from the daily or from H4. Do you have an order block there? This order block was tested. That led to that bullish move. So yeah, maybe that's an area on that moving average where I would want to see GBP USD come to. So the analysis is look for a bullish move. Kindly note this is educational analysis. This is not investment advice. And if the news can spike, they'll probably spike all the way to that 546. That's around 25 pips and then drop. So there's that possibility or this possibility. Yeah. But then we are looking at a more continuation of this sell on GBP USD. Let's look at USD JPY. Yesterday, we were seeking GBP USD to drop all the way to this yesterday's low, the low of Monday, right? And then go up. So USD JPY was caught up on the moving average, the 200 moving average, and bulls took over. So let's map out this one afresh. So I'll still be looking at a strong USD JPY. Maybe to that moving average or to this order block here. 144.64, right? Let's go to the daily. Oh, there's a moving average here that is acting as resistance. $146.18. Yeah. So if I were to look for opportunities on USD JPY, I'll probably want to see a sell move and then a bullish move. A drop to this price level or even to the 800 DMA, nothing stops USD JPY from coming here. Then from there, we could probably see that move. Okay, let's look at NZD USD. So NZD USD, we had two areas yesterday that we wanted to see the market go to. One was the Asian high, right? The Asian high, which is the highest price between midnight and 9 a.m. And then, of course, yesterday's high, the high of Monday, right? That's an area where there were some sellers. So price didn't get there, and we can see it tested the Asian high or yesterday's high today. So the high of Tuesday was tested today, and all of a sudden price dropped to for how many pips? 30 pips. You see what I've been saying? At least book 30 pips, right? So now we are done with that analysis. Let's map out NZD USD afresh. Go to higher time frames. You can see this area seems to be having a lot of sellers, right? You can see the reaction of the candlestick patterns, right? Weeks to the upside. So that tells you that there's a high probability that you are looking for sells on NZD USD, high probability. But then again, this is the market. It will surprise you, right? So what you do, make sure that you always observe risk management. No matter how good a trade is, risk management is very important. So you can see price hit an order block here. Then you can see that bullish push. So order blocks can act as take profit targets, yeah? Okay, so one area where I would want to see NZD USD come to is last week's low, that area over there. I can also see another block here, 59.69, right? So if we go to lower time frames, this is what I would want to see, a bullish move, on NZD USD could come to test even that one, the Asian high or the weekly high. What's the weekly high? The highest price in a week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The highest price was definitely set up on Monday, right? So that's an area probably where NZD USD could easily come to. Remember, we have some high volatile news, the CPI, so there could be some spikes to that area and then maybe a downward move. Remember, this is a projection. A good trader is one who takes trades with confirmations. Just because price will have come here doesn't mean it will be a sell area, right? Maybe price could have changed direction and buyers could have taken over. So just make sure that you have the confirmations to work with. So that's what I would want to see on NZD USD. Remember, as part of your trade management, at least book your pips, 30 pips, 50 pips, 70 pips, 90 pips, right? Okay, gold. What were we looking at on gold? Gold, we were looking for a bullish move to this price level and then a sell. Okay, so the H4 will look at why we were looking for that bullish move. So we would want to remove this because clearly price didn't get there, right? But you can see it's like price is it's going up there to this level. So let's remove it. So what had we mapped? I think it was this order block, if I'm not wrong. This bullish order block. Sorry, bearish order block, which is the last bullish candle before a drop down that got out of this structure. So I'll still maintain that analysis. That analysis is an area, is probably there are some sellers. There are some sellers there. So let's go to H1. So I'll still anticipate a bullish move on gold, and then once we get there, we'll probably see. I've mapped out possible take profit targets. One, the Asian low. Okay, the Asian low, then yesterday's low, and also the weekly low, the low that has been set this week, Monday, right? So we could probably see gold hit those three areas. What about AUD USD? What were we looking at on AUD USD yesterday? We were looking for a bullish move to one area. One was the Asian high, and then the other one was yesterday's high, which was the high of Monday, right? So you can see price came to these two areas, and then all of a sudden we can see the bearish move. So let's remove this analysis. What are we looking at on AUD USD? I'll probably want to see a move to this Asian high. Yeah, that Asian high, and then a possible bearish push. Possible bearish push. So that is an area where we could see some sellers, yeah, and then a possible drop. If you look at it from this angle, you can see a moving average acting as support. There is also a possible order block here. Yeah, 64.83 is also an area where we could see our USD come to. Then I can see also another area here. This is another block that can also be tested. Something of the sort. Okay, let's look at UT100. We had an analysis on UT100 last week where we were looking for buys. So the market came down and tested our buy area. Then there was that bullish move, bearish move. So let's see, what are we looking at? Let's remove this analysis. Remember, we still have gaps on Nasdaq. I keep pointing these out because before we have a full recovery on Nasdaq, we could see a possibility of it coming to these areas to close these gaps, and then now we could see that bullish play. Could it be because of the tariffs? I have no idea, right? Maybe the market has already considered some uncertainty in the markets. So we are looking at this high as a possible area. This is the yearly high, the highest price in the year. This was set up when? February. That's when we had a high on UT 100. So that's where uh, Nasdaq is coming to. So we could see a bullish move on this pair. Yeah, that's it on Nasdaq. I think we've covered everything. What else haven't we covered? Okay, USD CHF and USD CAD. So that we wrap it up. Okay, so USD CHF, go to time frames to have a clear understanding of where we are. That's a possible take profit. So USD CHF could test yesterday's low. That's a possibility. And then from there, we could probably see a bullish move. Could see a bullish move to this order block here. So a bearish move and then a bullish move. But the long-term outlook is to see probably that push. But we could see some resistance here. We'll definitely see some resistance on that moving average. Then maybe that could be minor and then price could push up. USD CAD. Go to higher time frames. USD CAD is yet to get to an area I've always wanted to see it come to. Is moving average, the 800 moving average. Yeah, it's yet to hit that 800. So maybe, let me see, H4, last week's low. This low is yet to be tested. So I'll still be looking for that bearish move. That could mean a strong Canadian dollar. So I'm still bearish on USD CAD. Okay, so let me see your feedback. Kindly remember for our UG clients, Financially Incorrect, sponsored by FX Pesa, will be University on June 25th. June 25th. Don't miss out on that impactful session. Kindly visit our social media handles for more on this. Okay, so let's see what you want us to look at. Hi everyone, hi Naomi, hi. Euro USD done, USD JPY done, Nasdaq done, Nasdaq done. So US 30, Dow Jones. Okay, do I have it here on my market watch? No, just have to add it. So just like Nasdaq, yeah, we see a bullish move coming in. Where would we want to see US 30 come to? I can see an order block on my left. Remember, you have to train your eyes to see some of these setups, right? So I've just opened my chart and I realized there's an order block that is yet to be tested. So there's a high chance. Let me see. Yeah, that 50 EMA seems to be holding as a support on H1. Yeah, so I'll probably want to see Dow Jones come to this high, to that order block, sorry. Okay, Nasdaq done. What else? If you've missed Euro USD, I've done the analysis. Have a look at it. GJ. Let me wrap up with GJ. CAD JPY and GJ. Do I have CAD JPY here? Let me start off with GJ. I'm 15. Okay. H4. Last month's high, has it been tested? Let me see. Yeah, it was tested and then all of a sudden there was that bearish move. You can see how last month's high was tested and then all of a sudden there was a, how many pips move? 164 pips move. So go back to the daily. I'm looking at areas where we can find some resistance or take profit. Oh, 97.63. Okay. So if I were to look for opportunities on GJ, I'll definitely be looking for a bullish move. But before the bullish move, I probably want to see some bears coming in. Could be testing this moving average. Those who use moving averages, don't miss out on our session tonight. We'll be learning this strategy. As you can see how this strategy seems to be holding, right? GJ has been coming to the 800, and then there's a bullish move to the 200, a bullish move, right? Look at that, 800 bullish move, 200, resistance here, resistance, support, buy. Yeah. So maybe I would want to see a bearish move before a bullish move. Probably want to see that, and then maybe that. CAD JPY. We go to the daily. Interesting. I can see a moving average that could act as resistance. Which is also last month's high, right? You can see that last month's high, and then there's a moving average. This could act as a very strong resistance, right? But I can also see an order block up here that is yet to be tested at 106.774. So there's a possibility that we could see if buyers breach these resistance, they'll definitely come to this order block, and here they will probably encounter some sellers. So let's go to H4. Yeah, so price could be coming to this moving average. Once again, you can see moving average here acting as support, right? Then resistance. This is a strategy we will learn today for the beginners, and even for fund traders tomorrow on Thursday. Remember, if you're a fund trader, don't miss out our training. We have everything for everyone. Yeah, so probably a bearish move. To 105.77, and then maybe a bullish move to that high. Yeah, to that high, and then maybe a continuation of the same. That's it. Hey, how would you really make a living? Because I've blown so many and even wondering how people live off. Stanley, follow the advice from Emmanuel. Go, go below this video. You have so many links. Go to the one that is every Monday and Thursday. That is the FX Pesa morning. This is the mentorship class. So if you know a bit of trading, you're struggling with strategy, trading psychology, you're greedy, you're fearful, those emotions. We get to discuss how to deal with them, and also strategy. And then that FX Pesa evening, right? That's the beginners class. Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for your time. Make sure that you're observing risk management, especially as we go into CPI, right? So our Euro USD, remember we were looking for buys on Euro USD. It's coming to our areas. Just make sure that you have your confirmations before you take a trade. GBP USD, we were looking for a buy move. Let's see how that trade plays out. USD JPY, we were looking for sells. Let's see how that plays out. NZD USD, we were looking for a bullish move to this price level, or even this one, and then a sell. Let's see how that plays out. Gold, we were looking for a bullish move, so at least we can see some spike on gold to that price level, and then a sell based on confirmations. Make sure that you operate on confirmations. Just because we've done that analysis doesn't mean price will get there and sell, right? You need to look at those confirmations. If you don't know the confirmations, you might want to join our mentorship class where we discuss that. UT100 buy to that high. Yeah, I think that's it. USD JPY, sorry, USD CHF, sell and then buy, right? So it's selling. Let's see whether it will get here and then buy. USD card, sell, buy. US30, buy. Let's see whether that will play out. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. See you next week for the mentorship. Guys, let's meet tomorrow. As always, let's analyze the markets. Let's seek opportunities, but make sure that you understand the risk management aspect of trading and you'll be good to go. Guys, bye-bye.